Ease X Nordics is set to release onto the Nintendo Switch on September 28th, and today we're going to be going over just about 10 brand new features that are being introduced to the title that players have not necessarily been able to see in previous Ease games. Remember that each one of them are iterative and they're continuing the story. Therefore, it's interesting to see just kind of one of brand new things that the developers are going to introduce that simply weren't available in the past. Today, we're going to be talking about things like runestones, the fishing options, the brand new boat experience that you're going to be able to have, and a couple of brand new characters. At the same time, you're also going to be able to see a couple of brand new screenshots for each one of those brand new introduced mechanics and features. On top of that, you're also going to be able to see some of those brand new characters. So first and foremost, I kind of want to start with the features since they are the more interesting things, and starting with runestones. They mentioned in their blog update, which I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for you guys to check it out if you so desire, that there's a huge amount of monuments left behind by the ancestors in the maritime people, the Normans, depicting the achievements of major events. Runestones are scattered throughout the Obelia Bay, and the stories that contain can be read by Adol and Karja using their mana powers. Discover more about Karja and the Baltan Navy origins by taking a glimpse into Obelia's Bay's past, as long as Normans who sought the new lands and plundered and invaded them. When reading the stories within the runestones in each location, mana seeds are obtained through the renaissance of mana power. Mana seeds are needed to learn brand new abilities in Adol's and Karja's growth system. Then there's Line, so you can boost their selected character traits by exposing them to Obelia Base and discovering more runestones. So essentially, in order for your characters to be able to grow in the latest growth system with learning new abilities, you're gonna need those seeds, and you can get them through the runestones discoveries. So essentially, just visit a brand new runestone, pick up some seeds, learn a little bit about the lore, and off you go. Then they talk about fishing and tuna fishing. Fishing is basically Adol and Karja can fish out in the field, in dungeons, and whatever you see the shadow of a fish in the water surface. Select your bait and location, then ready to land the big one. Whenever you get a hit, the fishing gauge will appear at the top of the screen. Max it out so you can reel in your catch. They also mentioned that tuna fishing is another option. During your voyage abroad, the Sandros, which of course is the name of the ship, fishing spots may randomly appear at various locations in Obelia Bay. By approaching these spots, you can try out your hand at deep sea tuna fishing and on board on the ship, in addition to regular fishing on land. So essentially, tuna fishing is a little bit different because you're doing deep sea tuna fishing on board of the ship. You cannot necessarily do it on land. You have to be in the ocean. They also talk about the support with increase in your success rate. While fishing and or tuna fishing, the support gauge is filled by successfully completing action displayed on screen. Activating support by the gauge is at maximum will trigger a cooperative effect in your friends to greatly increase the success rate. So the more fish you land in a row and the more your characters are kind of like getting along with each other, the better chance you're going to be able to have to land more and better quality fish. Lastly, they talk about earned fish rewards. First caught during your fishing or tuna fishing events, they will be reported and recorded in your adventures logbook. Report your caches to Joe, who loves fishing, and you can earn some brand new equipment for your efforts. So essentially, the more fish you catch, the better diversity of fish you catch, the more rewards you'll obtain. They also talk about all aboard the Sandras. They're talking about the ship. Whenever new members join the Sandra's crew, the ship's basic performance is increased according to the character's personality. In some cases, characters in certain specific skills and knowledge will join the crew, which will add a shop of functions in place of towns and merchant ships. And in other cases, special events and quests will occur having them on board the ship. So the more characters you recruit to your party, the better chances you're going to be able to have essentially better rewards joined into your boat, essentially. So the more things you get, the better and more profitable your ship can become. They talk about some of those characters that can be helpful to your ship, like Mamina and Romes, where Mamina, who runs the street ball, and Romes, the chairman of the carpenter company, become crew members. They operate the temporary store on board. At Mamina's shop, you can purchase various recovery medicines and recipes for making lunch boxes, which are indispensable for adventures. At the carpet company, you can purchase weapons, armor, and tactical tomes that boost cross-action performance. They talk about Joel. When Joel, who loves fishing, joins the crew, it unlocks the tuna fishing ability while in the sea, which we talked about it earlier. In addition, by reporting to 8 All Encourages catches to Joel, you can earn various rewards. Lastly, the character that they introduce is Ashley, a young boy who's living alone in Karnak and has an uncanny interest in marine life. By making him a member on the ship's crew, an exclusive quest will be unlocked, allowing him to investigate marine life throughout Obelia's Bay. Completion of these quests will freshen out your nautical chance that may lead to even more quests. So not only do you get brand new songs as you're fishing around or exploring on your ship, but more quests become available. Lastly, they talk about 5 separate characters, some which we have already mentioned before, but of course they provide more details on. Mamina Yevelis is a strong woman who runs the street stall in the town of Karnak. She has the kind of personality that's good reputation among her neighbors, but she's also rather pessimistic at times, causing concern to other people around her. She's always worried about her son, Leaf, who keeps his distance from his family and does not come near his parents' house. They also talk about Rome's Carpent. He is the chairman of the Carpent Company, the most prestigious trading company in Obelia Bay. His greatest business prowess has helped him build the most powerful company in Obelia Bay in just a single generation, and he intends to raise his son Cruz to one day take over the business. He intends to see trouble as a business opportunity, and sometimes get into arguments with Cruz over how they should handle and conduct themselves as a businessman. Next, they talk about Joel Asrag, a doctor who runs the Asrag Clinic in the city. Has a solid medical knowledge and skills with his daughter Mirabelle. He's been serving the people for many years. He seems to be an avid fisherman, and whenever he goes fishing while on duty, he's often chastised by Mirabelle for this. Then they talk about Ashley, an innocent-looking boy who lives alone in the town of Karnak. He does not have a good impression of the town's inhabitants, and is always grumpy when spoken to, complaining about Karnak. He seems to be more interested in marine life than in most people, and for some reason he often conducts the survey for Obelia Bay's area. Lastly, they talk about Ervil, a veteran shipwright in Balta Navy. Though cynical and stern-looking, Ervil is a skilled craftsman who is in charge of maintaining the Norman ships that are anchored in Balta Island. He also maintains the Sandras, captained by Adol and Karja. He eventually forms a bond with Cruz, who yearns to become a shipwright himself. So not only do we get to see plenty of characters be introduced, but also they got more details on runestones and fishing and tuna fishing, which of course are going to be some of the explorable options you're going to be able to have as you're playing the game. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today regarding Ys 10 Nordics, which is set to launch onto the Nintendo Switch on September 28th. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.